Welcome to the program today. Today I have a special guest. Today we have Terrence Nugel, who is the chairperson for the Johnson County Board of Supervisors, and we thought it would be fun to have a guest. And Terrence is, kind of notorious for some of these deep fried foods, but we wanted to do something a little bit more heart healthy today.
Heart healthy, indeed.
So Terrence has offered up a recipe for a vegetarian chili. And maybe you could tell us a little bit about it, Terrence.
Right. This is a recipe that I kind of came up with for the First United Methodist Church. They have a big chili fundraiser every year right before the big Hawkeye Home Parade and for homecoming. And so came up with just the idea of just throwing everything, of course, good into a pot, and it's hard to go wrong with chili. So this is just a combination of all kinds of great healthy things for a good soup.
Excellent. I will share with you that Terrence supplied us with a recipe, and our dietitian took a look at it, and they thought it would be just fine for the program. And anybody that's interested in these recipes, if they go to mercyiowacity.org and look under Taste of Mercy, there's a spot there, and you can bring up all the recipes. There should be online, and then the demonstrations will be there as well. So if you want to take a look at those, you can do that as your leisure. So why don't we get started?
Here we go. Absolutely. Right? Well, I've already started doing a few of the dicing and slicing here. As you can see, we have some onion and also green pepper that's going to be into the saute, and we're going to do a little frying of that with some olive oil. Just a little bit of olive oil, it goes a long way and makes a great flavor for the green pepper and onion, and of course a lot better for you than if you're using the butter or just the regular oil. So we can go ahead and get that in there. That's going to be in our frying pan, and we'll get that frying up here. So that'll be our start of our delicious sautéing. Get that in there. We'll let that start to cook up a little bit. We have a lot more things that we're going to throw into the frying pan. We have the tofu. Now tofu, I'm not a huge, fan, quite frankly, but it's one of those things that a lot of people like inside all kinds of great vegetarian dishes.
Well, I think it's pretty unique to have that inside in a chili dish.
Right, and one thing I've learned though is that whatever you cook with tofu, it kind of tastes whatever you season it with. Okay. So in this case, it's going to taste a lot like chili. So, but it does give you a kind of a neat little different texture. Obviously, everyone says tofu is so good for you. We'll just kind of cut and we'll just dice this up. And once we get it diced up, again, I'm just going to throw this also in the frying pan with the onion and the green pepper. And I got a few more things we're going to throw into the frying pan. And then after that, it's pretty much just, we'll put it all into a big pot, and that's chili, right? So that will go into the frying pan, but also I want to cut up this guy. Sometimes I like the serrano pepper. I didn't see it at the store today, so I just grabbed a jalapeno, and I'm cautiously put just a little bit of that in. I just do the whole seed and pretty much all of that, and I just cut it up like you would. But I like to really dice it up, and I throw it in the frying pan, or you can throw it into your soup base.
I think this is something that depends on the personal taste. The serrano is going to be about 5 times as hot as the jalapeno pepper, but the seeds obviously give you a lot more heat. That's where all the
is that right?
Intensity is in the seeds. Yeah.
Yeah, I just kind of grab whatever. I really don't know which one is best or not, and so I just kind of grab whatever. But this case, we'll go with a little milder. You never know what kind of pepper you want for your guests as well, and you can always add more seasoning and more fire if that's what people want. So I'm going to grab a few of these things, and we're going to put them also into the frying pan. And right now, we'll get that pepper in there. We'll also get the tofu, and we're just going to let that fry up a little bit. You can see I've got a few extra things on here on the cutting board that I helped prep with. Stir that in just a second. I think that's smelling really good. Okay. So we've pretty much got our olive oil, we've got our onion, we've got our green pepper, we got our hot pepper, and we got a little bit of garlic I want to throw in there. And in this case, just a little bit of garlic will go. I'm just decided to go with a jar. I'm sure it's the same as everything else, but I'm just going to throw that in here as well. And Again, you can actually look at the measurements. One fun thing when you start to cook as much as Unusual cooks, you kind of can gauge how much a quarter of a cup is.
I'm surprised there isn't a chef or a cook in that unusual bunch somewhere. That, I know you guys like to cook.
We do love to cook, and that's all. That all comes from Ralph, my dad. So he's an excellent teacher. I'm still always getting tips, but I'm also like he'll make a homemade barbecue sauce or something, and then I'll try it, and then it'll taste really good, and then he'll say, can you go grab me something? I come back and it's tasted different, and I'm thinking, wait a second, what did you just put in? And then of course it's a secret, and I gotta, I have to keep reminding him. He needs to start writing some of these things down so we can pass it on for sure. So right now we're just going to let those things fry up. I've already cut up some celery and some carrots that are going to go into our big pot.
Right.
So let's give this a big stir, and
There you go.
that's exactly what I'm looking for. And again, all we're going to do here is just basically stir it up just like you would. Make sure it's just nice and sautéed. I'm not going to really add any seasoning or anything like that. That's pretty much just going to go into the pot, and we can go ahead and start to get our ingredients ready for the rest of the big vegetarian chili.
And I will remind people that this recipe, I'm not sure, I think it's going to yield quite a bit here. This isn't your, serves 4 people type recipe that we're
But
having.
you're talking about noodles here. So, noodles, we eat too much. But at least if we're going to eat something like this, it's going to be pretty good for
Right.
you. So pretty much, if you want to hold this,
Sure.
I get the chance to now pour everything else in. And again, you can get the recipe at Mercy, right? Mercy.
It'll be online.
And this is just, of course, just whole peeled tomatoes. I'm lucky enough that I grabbed one of Dad's jars that he jarred for this year, and we got all kinds of tomatoes, and he just does such a wonderful job. And so, of course, if you have someone that has jarred them, they're always so much better than the cans. But why not? We're just going to throw everything in, and you can see I'm going to on all these different kind of cans of things from the tomatoes on down. I don't really even add any water to my chili. I just let the water from all these different ingredients be a part of those things. We've got the different kinds of beans, and just use whatever you want, right? This is the navy beans. We'll throw those in. Some chili beans. It actually has some chili sauce with it. And again, is that getting heavy yet? You're still doing okay?
Yep.
All right. And we'll keep throwing these in. This is that's what's fun about chili, is you really can throw anything you want in there that you like. And here's some black beans, and again, juice and all. That all goes in. You let me know if it's getting too heavy.
I think, people, one thing they need to understand is when you're doing a recipe that's, if you don't have an item, it's not like, well, I can't make this recipe now. You can do without that, or you substitute something else in there.
Yep.
Yep.
And here's another kind of beans. This is the red kidney beans. And let's see, I always like hominy and corn in my chili. And this is just some white hominy.
Okay.
Whole sweet corn. Of course, if you have some that came from the farms around here, that's always good too. And then I kind of like this. This is roasted bell peppers, and you can kind of use whatever you want. Sometimes you can kind of slice these up if you like, if you don't want them too whole in there, or you can kind of just, when you're stirring around, they do start to fall apart. This has a little bit of just kind of natural juices from it, and again, they're just more peppers. And I like chunks of stuff in my chili, but some of those will break down.
I'm going to show them here. We're just, these roasted peppers, we're going to do actually some roasted peppers on the next recipe.
Oh,
and
fantastic.
It's going to look just like that.
That's great. So all we have left now, we have some V8 juice, and you can see we're getting a pretty good amount of stock in there. And I usually just cover, you can use pretty much the whole thing, but the basic idea is just to make sure everything's covered. So I just like to make that a little extra tomatoey, and we'll see if that's enough for now. And then I've already sliced up a few of the celery and the carrots, and we're just going to throw that in. And that's pretty much it. We got our things sauteing. Everything looks good, and there's only one thing left to go, and that is the seasoning. So what I usually do is I just take some regular some regular chili seasoning, and then some cumin, and I just mix it up. And that's pretty much all there is to chili. And then I usually put in about 6 tablespoons altogether. I know this is a little small here. This is a teaspoon, but we'll throw some of this in here, and then you have to kind of just taste it. I mean, that's basically the rule of thumb. So we'll just throw some seasoning in there and try one more just for now, and we'll see how it goes. And one more after that. Okay. All right. That's pretty much it. You ready?
Yep.
That's looking like chili, isn't it? And for all of you who are watching, it smells like chili too. So give this one more good stir. Things are frying away just nice. And I think that's just, I like to, whenever I've had tofu, and if you fry it up, you do get a nice little crispy edge to it. That's kind of nice. So just let that go just for a couple more minutes while that onion and the garlic and the green pepper and the tofu are going at it. We got that chili that's going to be nice and seasoned, and that's pretty much it. That's the vegetarian chili.
We got it all in there, and probably another 20 minutes, 30 minutes on the stove.
But I just thought of one other thing.
Okay.
Remember we're talking about how you can just throw anything you want into vegetarian chili, and I just looked over here and I saw one more ingredient. One more ingredient hiding from us. It wants to be in our chili. Zucchini. And I've noticed, like with the zucchini, which is kind of fun, is that the zucchini actually rises to the top, which is kind of a fun little thing. Kind of makes it really stand out as far as the red colors into the green colors, and that's the one thing about any kind of chili or soup. So we'll just dice this up real quick. And again, this is kind of one of those things you go through your refrigerator, and pretty much you know how it is. You throw anything you want into chili, and hopefully it's something kind of healthy too. So that's always kind of nice. So we'll get those in. I learned from Dad that when you're scraping the things off the cutting board, turn your knife over.
Right.
Boy, I tell you what, after he gets done sharpening and you start doing some of this, yeah, you get the look. You don't want the look. So that's pretty much it. We're going to throw these guys in here. Going to give it a big stir and let it just kind of cook away. And one of the things that I like to do is just make sure that the celery and the carrots are cooked through. And once the celery and carrots are cooked through, then you're in pretty good shape for things. So give that a nice stir. I don't know if you can get that sound of that, but that is just, that is a nice, just all coming together here. And we'll just kind of let that cook away.
Terrence, we have that chili is simmering away now, and we'll let that go. In the meantime, we'll go ahead and do the other soup, which is a pumpkin chicken chowder. And it's a real nice earthy meal, a fall meal or winter-type meal. And in wintertime, you don't always have the pumpkin available, but you can take this and take that pumpkin and freeze it, or you can actually use a canned pumpkin and put that in there as well. So we showed earlier how you have the roasted peppers in the jar.
Right.
We're going to fire roast these on the stove. And so to start with, we'll take these over to the stove and get it turned on. So I'm going to put these peppers directly on the flame. And we'll do the other peppers as well. They're a little hard to fit in here with the big grate, but we'll get those on there later on. And these can sit right on the burner. It's not going to hurt them at all. Okay. What you want to do is get this blackened all the way around. We're kind of blister this, and you see how it don't take long. It's just starting to get a little bit of the black spots to it. And we want that all the way around on these peppers. And then we're going to take and put those in a container, put the lid on it, to let them sweat a little bit, and that'll soften that up. You could also do this on your broiler underneath the oven, or if you have a broiler on top, you can do it there as well. But this is, I think, is a faster way. It's easier. You want to just keep rotating it around. Okay, everything is getting nice and blackened here. I think we're about ready. I'm going to take these off. Now, Terrence, we're just going to let those sit in there for about 15 minutes or so, and they're going to kind of sweat a little bit, and that's going to loosen that on the skin off the outside. We'll scrape them off, clean them up,
Great.
and they'll be just great. So while we're waiting for that, I'm going to do the pumpkin. And I brought along a pie pumpkin. Now, a pie pumpkin, as opposed to the larger, the jack-o'-lantern, there's a little difference as far as the cooking. Pie pumpkins are what you prefer for your cooking. These jack-o'-lanterns, the bigger ones, are going to be more stringy, and this is the better texture-wise. It's a softer skin. It's a duller. It's not that high shine to it. You'll be able to tell, appearance-wise and texture-wise that there's that difference. I went ahead and washed this off earlier, so we're going to take and cut it down. And we're just going to take a peeler and just
Peel away.
let's peel away. We'll start with another peeler.
Ah, there it is.
There we go. This will work this one. And we're not going to need probably all this pumpkin, but actually I think we'll just take maybe half of it. I'm left-handed, but that's my choice.
You ready?
Spoon here, and we'll take
Okay. All right.
take the insides out of that.
Take the guts. So we always said when
Yep.
you're carving the pumpkin, gotta get the guts out of there.
Okay, let's clean the mess up, and we'll cut this up.
Okay.
I'm going to take, I think, maybe about a third of this. We don't need that much, and cut into some chunks. I think that's going to be plenty. We're going to
Put those on in, huh?
hold those off to the side for a little bit. This is another step in the process. Again, this is something you can do the evening before. You line all this stuff up, and it doesn't take that long to put the soup together then. Now we have that. We've got the peppers, and next we're going to do the leeks. And I think this recipe calls for 3 of them. The leek's kind of a cross between the garlic and the onion, but it's a little milder than both. It's been around for centuries. And it's all we want off of this is just the white and just a little bit of the green up here. So we're going to take all this, and this is going to be set back. We're not going to use that.
It is a funny looking vegetable, isn't it? It's like got almost like a cornstalk type,
Exactly.
and then like a big green onion.
Now these are kind of just circularly wrapped around. They're kind of like a newspaper.
And do they smell
rolled
like
up.
well, you can almost get a little bit of garlic
Yeah, it's
smell
just,
in
just
there.
a mild. Now, these quite often will get a lot of the dirt, how that builds up inside there. So we need to clean all that out. But it traps it all in there. There's quite a bit.
I've never cooked with leeks before.
All right, so I think if you get those cleaned up, we'll go ahead and cut those. And
Wonderful.
we'll set this off to the side a little bit. Because now we want to do the peppers.
Okay.
And I like to give myself a pair of gloves along to work with those. All that black char there.
Sure.
We're going to try and clean that off of there.
This is the peppers that were put on the stove.
Right.
And
See
voila!
that
You
moisture in there?
Oh yeah, you can see it really has blistered up real nice, and it's
Right.
really moist, isn't it? Oh, they're really soft. I like that better than buying the jar. This is gonna be added to the.
Give it a,
I'm gonna give that a try.
so we're just going to split that up. Take this seed out of here. Just kind of clean it up. See, it softened that up. This gives it a nice, you know, woodsy type flavor and smell to it.
I hear that chili bubbling in the background.
You may want to check that
Yeah,
while
I'm gonna
we're
check
while
that
we're
out
doing
and give
this.
that a nice little stir.
All right.
I think the neighbors are going to be able to smell all the good smells coming from the kitchen here.
We're going to do the same thing with the peppers that we did with the jalapeno peppers. I take the seeds out. You can leave those in, parents, but that's
Okay.
I can't handle that like I used to. Okay, now with these, all we're doing, we're going to take and just kind of scrape that off. You're scraping that outer skin off. See, there's a little. And then this is going to look just like what you had in that
It's
jar,
exactly
right?
the same as in
Yeah.
the jar. Yep.
And a little black on there is going to be just fine.
That's
That'll
okay.
give it that flavor. And we're going to cut those up. You know, years ago when I was a kid, I wouldn't eat this stuff with all this burn stuff on it, you know, but it's
That's
all,
flavor.
It's all the flavor, exactly.
Mhm.
I missed one piece of pepper there. And these are the jalapeno peppers. These are the little ones like you had in your soup as well.
Wonderful.
Okay, so now we have all the pieces. I think next we'll go to the stove and start the soup. Next step is to cook the chicken. A couple tablespoons of olive oil. And we'll measure that out. This is about 1.5 pounds of chicken breast, skinless, diced. Let that fry up a little bit. Once that gets about done, we're just going to start adding items to it and finish cooking it off.
Wonderful.
All right, Terrence, that looks pretty good. I think we're just going to add the pumpkin to this now. We'll mix that in. And I'm going to add the leeks and the roasted peppers. We're going to have a very full pot here.
Not for long, not after I get done eating some of this. Oh, wow, look at the
Get
colors.
some nice colors there, huh? Yeah, this is a
Fantastic.
very nice dish. I'm going to add some of the seasoning to this, and I have some chili powder and some cumin also. The same thing as you have in your chili.
Yeah, these are going to go real well together.
This is kind of a southwestern type flair to it.
Okay, look at that.
There's some corn. About a cup of corn goes in there. I have a little fresh oregano here. We're going to strip that off a little bit and
Did you
add
just get that
to
at
it.
the Hy-Vee or at
I
the
did, as a matter of fact.
Fairway or
now,
New
if
Pie?
you didn't have the fresh, you want to put the leaf or the dried oregano in, you could do that. But now this is milder, so if you use the dried, you want to use like 1 teaspoon versus 1 tablespoon of this.
Oregano.
This takes 3 times as much for the same flavor because the dried is more concentrated. And then I give just a little pinch of salt, a little pepper here.
Those red peppers really come out, don't they? They look wonderful.
I have some flour here now. We're going to add the flour before we add the liquid. This is going to help thicken it up. But if we add the flour now and stir that in, that'll release the gluten in that flour. We need to cook that flour a little bit to help
right.
thicken that up.
Yeah, looks like it's coming down to the bottom. Going to make a nice
it'll
little
mix in a little
roux.
bit. You're starting to get some liquid now in the
Yeah.
bottom of the pan. The
Yeah.
veggies are starting to sweat out a little bit, and I think the very last thing we have on here then is just the broth, and we're
Wonderful.
using some low sodium chicken broth. Okay, and this is just the canned broth that I get in the store. I'm gonna let that cook for a minute or two more.
Oh, that looks great. The smells are fantastic. The colors are just coming out of there. Wonderful. And it's getting nice and thick now. Let's see, throw that right in. Wow, this is the perfect meal for a nice cold day outside in Iowa. After you get done shoveling about another 6 inches that come down.
We don't want to hear that. Now, this is going to have the chunks of the pumpkin, but if you wanted to, you could take and put that pumpkin in a blender, puree that, and that would help thicken it up as well. Or you could use this canned pumpkin and add that instead. So, you know, if you were in a hurry, you wanted to buy the roasted peppers already done, buy the canned pumpkin, you know, you can save yourself quite a bit of time as well. But I think it's good to see the whole process. And we're going to let that cook a little bit, and it's going to thicken up as that flour works with that broth.
Oh, look at that.
All right, Terrence, I think this one is ready to go now. With the pumpkin is just nice and soft, and everything else is cooked in it. We'll just go ahead and dish both these up and
All right.
shut them down.
Ooh, look at those colors. All right. Wow. That looks wonderful. I see that fresh oregano in there, pumpkin. Those leeks turn out really nice inside there too. How's that for a bowl of soup, huh?
That's great. And we'll dish the chili up.
All right.
And I'll return the favor here.
That seems like a good trade. I
nice-
pour yours in and you pour a little mine in.
Nice hearty soup.
Get all those beans, and the celery's all cooked and ready to go. The carrots
All
are
that.
nice and cooked.
A lot of protein in here, even without the meat being in the soup.
And some tofu.
Excellent.
I like to add a few things in mine. Of course, I like jalapenos, so you can throw, you know, a few of those just to kind of make it look nice, fresh, and then some cilantro. And just throw a little of that on there. And I always like a little fresh onion also. And so you can add a little fresh onion
Excellent. Looks super.
to your vegetarian chili.
And over here, we're just going to add a little low-fat sour cream. Kind of stay with that southwestern theme, and just a little bit more of the leaf oregano. So we've got a vegetarian chili and a chicken pumpkin chowder, and nice job.
Nice job. Thank you so
You bet.
much for the opportunity to come in and enjoy some good cooking with you.